So we are
Jackie Wick,
Remy Nicka
here for Zell Mandel,
and Michaela Simino, and our performance is The Manhattan Project, redefining foreign policy in the post-war world.
So enjoy. Thank you.
Mr. President, the Secretary of War has arrived. Thank you, let him in.
Mr. President, how are you?
As well as could be expected in light of this recent tragedy, Mr. Simpson. And you?
The same.
I received your letter. Now what is this highly secret matter you need to speak to me about?
Sir, due to the tragic nature of your inauguration, we were unprepared for the switch of power. But to be frank, the war is reaching a critical point.
Sadly, yes. The war in Europe is nearly finished, but not the war in the Pacific. A land invasion of Japan would be so costly in lives and resources, but I see no alternative. Do you have another suggestion?
Over the past few decades, there have been many scientific advances transforming the world. President Roosevelt acknowledged the importance of this and began an initiative to try to give America an advantage in this war. Sir, I must tell you, we have begun making an atomic weapon.
What? I don't understand.
Essentially, they have figured out how to split extremely small pieces of matter called atoms. This fission of radioactive elements lets off an extraordinary amount of destructive energy, equivalent to near 20,000 tons of TNT.
Could this end the war? What are the implications of this? Why haven't you told me?
This project has been created with the highest level of secrecy. It is a need-to-know situation, and honestly, sir, until recently, you were not on that list.
Even so, we knew of rumors about deteriorating health. I cannot believe I'm just learning of this. This could completely change our strategy for the Pacific War. How long has this been going on?
Well, we began the project back in 1941. Sir, we just released the official statement against Japan in response to the Pearl Harbor attack. I expect Germany and Italy will retaliate soon. How should we proceed?
Well, Stimson, give the order to the Office for Scientific Research and Development to start working on that Manhattan Engineering District they've been pushing for.
As you wish, sir, but may I suggest that we keep this endeavor secret? Our involvement could be seen as a threat to other nations and create controversy here at home.
I agree, but with the Germans' project, the Second Ulan Viren, the continued aggression from the Axis powers, and now the Pearl Harbor attack, I'm afraid this is necessary. The Mod Committee, Jolio, Szilard, Fermi, Einstein, they all knew it would come to this. We are now at war. I want us to have a bomb.
Sir, this resolution set off years of research and testing, utilizing the full capabilities of our scientists at Oak Ridge, Hanford, and Los Alamos to develop an atomic weapon. We now have a prototype ready for testing.
I see. This Manhattan Project seems to be the best kept secret of the war. I'd like to see the bomb. When will we know if it is functional?
Well, we have a test plan for July 16th.
Mr. Oppenheimer, that was incredible. Congratulations, gentlemen. We have done it.
I do believe you have just changed the course of history.
I am awed, deeply impressed to say the very least. I must report to Stimson. This information could be very useful to both him and the president in their negotiations at Potsdam.
All the years of research came down to this moment. The detonation tower itself is gone. The sound must have echoed for miles, and I'm still blinded by the blast. A single weapon with this much power could change how we fight in any war.
Mr. President and Prime Minister Churchill.
Good afternoon, Secretary Stalin. Shall we begin? I'd like to start with the nations in Eastern Europe recently freed from the hands of the Germans.
Of course, however, I expect the decisions made here at Potsdam not to override the ones made at Yalta.
Everyone did get some of their wishes out of that negotiation. However, we must keep in mind our current circumstances and help these people, not dominate them.
Agreed. Occupation of Eastern Europe is necessary to ensure peace. Successful communist governments will do just that.
We all wish to restore calm to the world.
Yes, but we have an even higher stake in this war than you. We have lost too much already, and we must put protective measures in place.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Mr. President, may I speak to you for a moment?
Excuse me.
Sir, I have important news. The Trinity test was a success. We have a functional atomic weapon, and its power is unprecedented. We finally have our MasterCard.
Excellent. Gentlemen, I have great news. We've completed some work back in the States that will help us with the war in the Pacific.
Excellent. Any advantage is sorely needed.
What sort of advantage is this? Military, political, intelligence?
It is a weapon of sorts. I believe this is just what we need to deal with our threat from the Japanese.
My military back home is fully prepared and poised to help with the Asian conflict now that our war with Germany is over.
Excellent. However, I'm hopeful we will have victory in our grasp very soon. We must warn the Japanese that if they reject our terms of surrender, the result will be prompt and utter destruction. I have some business to attend to, gentlemen. Can we resume tomorrow?
Yes, I have a meeting with some advisors very shortly.
Of course, gentlemen. Good day.
Excuse us.
A weapon of sorts, he says. My agents inside the Manhattan Project keep me aware of the Americans' progress on their atomic bombs, yet I was not aware it was so advanced. I must contact my own project leaders and have them accelerate our initiative. This is just another reason why I cannot trust the Americans. I'm not sure how much longer I can maintain this alliance.
Good day, Mr. President.
Mr. Stimson?
Glad to be back, sir. We have a lot to consider from the Potsdam Conference.
Yes, we've reached many agreements with the British and Soviets, but now we must decide how to handle these newly developed weapons. The war effort has exhausted our European allies, and ties with the Soviets are tenuous at best.
Yes, I think we can both agree that having the Soviets enter the Pacific War and Manchuria would be disastrous. We cannot have them encroaching on our sphere of influence in the Pacific. An attack with weapons of this caliber could prevent their involvement.
Are you suggesting we use the atomic bomb?
Not definitely, but we must consider it.
I hate to unleash this destruction on an enormous population of civilians. The Frank Committee and the Interim Committee have expressed opposition to the idea.
Honestly, sir, I don't think we have a better choice. The Japanese have shown that they are prepared to fight to the very last breath. Our casualties at Iwo Jima and Okinawa show that without an atomic attack, far too many lives will be spent trying to end this war. Targeting Kyoto, Hiroshima, Yokohama, Niigata, or Nagasaki will demonstrate enough power to force their surrender.
You're right. Japanese Emperor Hirohito has already rejected the Potsdam Declaration and our warnings. We must drop the bomb.
Breaking news, August 15th, 1945. Most destructive force in world's history. Hurled at Japan to hasten end the conflict. Japan has surrendered.
Mr. President, General Eisenhower is here to see you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, General.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Congratulations on your recent victory.
Thank you, sir, but your telegram is brief. Why have you called me here?
I've invited you to meet with me here so we can establish a framework for the full understanding of our problems. I think it's unnecessary to have pointless differences between my administration and yours. I was informed of some intelligence too late, so I want to start briefing you on the state of the nation prior to your inauguration.
Thank you, sir. I face dangerous times coming into my term.
Yes, we have many international dangers that confront our country and the whole free world. USSR challenges us in Korea, Iran, Asia, and Europe. We're trying to contain Soviet expansion, but I fear this won't be resolved anytime soon, especially in light of the building arms race.
Yet the hydrogen bomb project is almost complete. Soon we will again have the advantage over the Soviets.
But look at how quickly they countered our Manhattan Project and our atomic bomb with their own. I fear this arms race will spiral out of control very quickly.
I believe America is built on a different set of values, as to avoid the military-industrial complex. Yet I do not see a way to end this current arms race without surrendering to the Soviets, and that is unacceptable. We've become leaders in both the UN and NATO, and we can use that power to counter any Soviet threat.
So we must be careful with these newly developed weapons. MacArthur had the very ideas we want to avoid. These bombs are far too dangerous to be handled like weapons in the past.
I understand these weapons could cause the destruction of the world, but even so, you're the one who used the bomb.
But these bombs have complicated foreign policy for us ever since. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were leveled. Nearly 150,000 people died instantly. That decision caused the Cold War to become such a high-stakes conflict today. Things have escalated now that we do not solely possess these bombs.
So are you saying because of these high stakes, the bombs are unusable?
Realistically, yes. We cannot fight face-to-face anymore. We must focus on diplomacy.
So you want me to continue your policies of containment?
Yes. We may fight proxy wars with the Soviets, but that's all.
This really has started a whole new era. It's changed how foreign countries have related for centuries.
These bombs have affected how we look at everything. The Manhattan Project really started all of this. In just a few years, we've been forced to completely redefine our foreign policy.
This advancement was inevitable and necessary for the world to move forward.
I just pray this is not the thing that destroys it.